Hello, loves. Hello, hello. Hills here from the Blue Flame Apothecary. How are you? How are you? Nice to be here with you. And this is some really powerful energy that we're currently navigating. Recently, a friend of mine sent me a message, a clunking, and it was perfect. I was like, yes, we are in a clunking. I've been feeling the navigation of dissonance and consonance, which are kind of music theory terms. Dissonance is, as it sounds, discord, things that are clenching, crashing, clunking, and consonance, which is like this flow sort of energy. And the way it came through is through the rest of this year, as we move through the new moon, which I'm here to talk about, and into the solstice, and then through the full moon, there is a lot of dissonance energy. And we are looking for the consonance, the constant, that centeringness within ourselves to stay in that place so that all that's crashing all around us has as little effect on us as possible. That doesn't mean to ostrich and bury your head in the sand. It simply means to be able to observe, to hold space, to witness, to be in love with all that's crashing, all that's making all these loud screeching noises, clanking and crashing noises around you, and also staying centered and whole of self, not getting lost down that rabbit hole. All right, so with that, this new moon, there's so much going on. It's hard to synopsis it in like, where do we start? So we're going to start, I just heard it, we're going to start with Venus and Scorpio, because that is one of the loud energies that's taking us through the rest of this year. Venus entered Scorpio on the 4th of December and is going to travel through the underwater energies of Scorpio, that stagnant. I've been using a term, the water at the bottom of the ocean, to describe Scorpio's energy. And we can feel the Venusian frequency flowing through that stagnant water and a loving it, a lighting it, helping us to flow more fully and more wholly. During this new moon on the 12th or 13th, depending on where you are, Venus will be traveling through Scorpio in conjunction with Pallas Athena. So it's allowing us to explore where we are doing battles within ourselves and in our relationships, and where we are being projected upon in our relationships to be that warrior, being asked to be something that we are not, is another way to say that. To come into our relationships and say, actually, I'm not going to play that game with you. I'm not going to play that game with you. I know you're trying to pick a fight here. I know you're saying this thing because it triggers me, and it usually creates a warrior who's going to rise up and lash out. When these things come up, part of this energy is saying, wait, is there another way to meet that? To say, I see you doing this thing that usually causes me to lash out, and instead, I'm going to go within And I'm going to say, what is a truer, what is a wholer, what is a empowering way for me to react to this? And because this is Scorpio energy, it's also inviting a deep dive. What is it in particular about this thing that's triggering you from within self? There's something important here. Everything that we experience outside of ourselves also exists within us. This is not to say that every bad thing that happens to us, we are responsible for. What we are responsible for is our reaction to it. Can you feel that? We are responsible for our reaction to it, and also for doing that internal shadow work to help our reaction change. Because our reaction changing actually invites a change of reaction, a change of stimulus. If you are in relationship with someone, this can be a partner, a friend, however, a family member, and they have a habit of doing something to you, at you, saying words that they know if I say this thing to this person, this is the reaction I'm going to get. And then I get to feel this certain way because I owned her, or I owned him, or I owned them. I was able to get this thing that I needed out of them. If you change your response, all of a sudden they're not getting that stimulus that they wanted from that action anymore, and they're going to move on. They're going to move on, and they're going to find another place, another way to get that which they crave, or they're going to say, oh, well, that's interesting, and maybe it starts sparking some internal workings within them, and they find themselves exploring, why did I want that reaction? You never know. One of my favorite things to say is, I do not know what I do not know. I do not know what I do not know. I can plan for all of these scenarios. I can feel into the energetics and say, this is what I'm feeling. But because we are all interconnected and everyone else is doing all of their things at the same time as I'm doing all of my things, I do not know what I do not know. That butterfly flapping its wings in Tibet flapped its wings in a certain way, and it changed part of my trajectory. My mother did some shadow work, and all of a sudden it opened a door that I didn't think was open before. That sort of thing, right? And we don't know. We look around us and we can say that person's enlightened, that person's not on the path. We can say all of these things and believe them to be true. It does not make them so. What we know is only that which is in us, within us. It is the only thing that we can really move. Through moving that within our energetic system, we impact everything around us. This is Venus in Scorpio. Everything that I just said, this is all Venus in Scorpio. By the time we get to the full moon on the 26th, Venus will have left Pallas behind and will be conjunct Isis, giving us the opportunity through all of that energy, all of that work that we did with our inner warrior, to remember, to put back together ourselves, to find deeper places, deeper channels within that water at the bottom of the ocean that will allow us to reincorporate aspects of our being, of our soul, that had been hidden from view previously. Now, on this new moon in Sagittarius, it's happening at about 3:30 p.m. Pacific on the 12th, during the 12/12 portal. We have to pause there for a minute. This new moon is happening as we are in the 12-12 energies. The 12-12 is about overthinking. That's one of the significances of this. It's a completion cycle, and it says the energy of like the angel number 12-12 invites us to come to a state of completion, to a state of wholeness, because if you think about it, 12 and 12 is also 3 and 3. It's a unification. Unification, 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 unification. And through that unification, can we continue to move forward without getting lost in the stories, in the things that we tell ourselves about what it means to be enlightened, what it means to be unified? Can we come into a place where we can follow the truth so on the heels, in the step, in the footprints of the truth, that we kind of lose contact with egoic thinking about it? And when I use the term egoic, I mean the little ego, the ego that says don't change, don't move into that place, don't go over there, the system is broken. Whatever your personal, like, I have Chiron and Aries, and a lot of the work that I'm here to do in this lifetime is about self-empowerment, reclaiming of my power. And a lot of the work that I'm here to do is also helping others in their reclaim of their power, their voice, their sight, their creative power, whatever they have, whatever their wound is. For me, it's a full-bodied reclamation of my power. And when I am coming into a point where I'm about to stand on a bigger stage, or where I am being asked to remember something about my soul's journey, or move into a new way of being, for me, that ego voice will kick up and say, oh, no, 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 no. Don't do it. Don't do it. You must hide. You must hide. You must hide. Can you feel that? Like, that's the little ego. That's the, oh, I don't know. And let me feel here. The 12-12 portal invites us to trust in our whole state of being. It invites us to say, I see you, to that voice that is asking us to stay small, or whatever your little ego voice asks you to do in your life. A lot of the energy right now is about staying hidden and staying small, rather than coming out and showing your true self. For a lot of people also, this will probably be hitting in waking up energies. I've shared before, we are in an energy right now of massive awakening, the likes of which we have never seen. Not really. We got a taster of it in 2020, like late 2019 into 2020. All of that was a mass awakening. We got a taste of it when we emerged from the Dark Ages into the Renaissance. This is that sort of awakening. A massive amount of people who had previously been kind of comatose, walking around unhappy but not able to see a different way, not able to see through the veils, are being activated. Their dream times are changing. Their communication with beyond themselves is changing. Their realizations with regard to what love actually is, with what the interconnectedness of the all of everything is. This is all starting to percolate up to the surface within a lot of people. So some of this might be in the little ego saying, no, 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 that's dangerous. Don't go there. You can't do that. And a lot of us who've been walking this path for a little while are being asked to say, no, it's safe. to be open-armed and say, come, it's safe, it's safe, it's safe. Allow yourself to fully see. Allow yourself to fully hear. Allow yourself to be holy. To be whole. And that's that 12-12 portal energy, is remembering that you're held to hold others and to be held. To allow yourself to be held. And when you can allow yourself to be held, the overthinking starts to diminish. Now, interestingly, the next day, the day after the new moon, Mercury goes retrograde. We are currently in the shadow of this retrograde, and we have been since the end of November. This retrograde has Mercury starting its retrograde in Capricorn. It is going to be conjunct on the new moon with Kwawa. And we've talked about Kwawa before, but in case you aren't aware, Kwawa is the Tongvan creator being. This creator being is the native people of the West LA Basin, Southern California. And this creator being sings and dances the universe into being. Feel the energy of singing and dancing the universe into being, conjunct Mercury, the messenger of the gods. The messenger of the gods. Communication and expression, singing and dancing. Conjunct in Capricorn. Our foundations and structures, our outward, what we're here to do. Building. It's also what's falling away. It's also what's falling away. So if we feel this, Mercury helping us on the new moon, still forward facing, conjunct Kwawa, saying, sing and dance, sing and dance. Let there be light, let there be sound. Let there be light, let there be sound. And through this, then shifting and beginning a backwards journey that will take Mercury all the way back to the galactic center. Mercury will hit the galactic center right around the time of the full moon, will continue its backwards journey and turn around just before New Year's. How beautiful is that? It's take this message of the song and dance that we are singing to create the new foundations of our world back to the center of the galaxy, gain even more of that clarifying light, that wisdom that's held within the center of our galaxy, and then bring it on back to help us sing and dance even more light and love. Light is love, is sound. They work together. And it's bringing all of this together, bringing all of this together. Let's feel. There's a couple more pieces that feel like they want to trickle in. The fixed Grand Cross that was active during the full moon is still active now. This fixed Grand Cross is the sun and moon, the galactic center just a little ways off, across from Medusa, being crossed by Juno in Virgo and Neptune in Pisces. Neptune in Pisces on the 6th of December just moved forward again. Just started moving forward again. So now, other than Mercury, who's about to turn backwards, the only retrogrades we have left from that summer starting of retrogrades are Uranus and Chiron. And they both, Chiron turns around on the 27th, the day after the full moon, and Uranus in January. I did not mention where Medusa was. Medusa's across from the new moon, the sun and the moon, at 23 of Gemini. The sun and moon are at 20. So it's a little loose for asteroid, sun and moon. But considering everything else that's going on here, it's big. Also, hang on, we'll get there in a minute. On the day of this new moon, an asteroid named Leona, the lioness, is going to pass through the 28th degree of Gemini. This is where Betelgeuse lives. Betelgeuse. That beautiful red supergiant, the shoulder of Orion. This is going to create a ring of fire eclipse of Orion's shoulder, of Betelgeuse. A stellar ring of fire. I mean, all ring of fire eclipses are stellar ring of fires, aren't they? But we call ours the sun. This eclipse is happening in the hours before the new moon. Betelgeuse is also across the wheel from the galactic center. So we have this fixed grand cross that's being made by the sun and moon, Neptune having gone forward again, Juno over in Virgo, and Medusa in Gemini. And then if we tilt the wheel just a little bit, we get a T-square with this eclipsed Betelgeuse, Leona, the galactic center, and Sophia in Virgo. Sophia was a very, very powerful aspect of the full moon that we just had, that Gemini full moon. And once again is bringing this wisdom, this gnosis to us. It's revealing hidden secrets, that which was once occluded. And we can feel this from an astronomical perspective. This eclipse, this asteroid Leona, coming over top of Betelgeuse, in this narrow band where Betelgeuse is just going to blink out and then come back, gives a rare opportunity to learn more about the star itself. And the star itself has been a very hot topic recently because it, since 2020, has been doing some funky things, dimming and brightening and dimming and brightening, and everyone's like, oh, has it already gone supernova? Is it about to go supernova? Are we going to experience in our lifetimes the supernova of Betelgeuse? So we get to find out a little bit more about this star. At the same time, from an energetic perspective, with this star being across from the galactic center, this occlusion, this eclipse of Betelgeuse offers us an opportunity to connect in with the black hole at the center of the galaxy, to learn new things that were previously unavailable to us. And with Sophia T-squaring this, and Neptune now moving forward back towards the galactic center, which it will be in a square with for all of 2024, we can really feel that like shamanic visioning, that awakening, that new knowledge, that new wisdom, that new way of seeing and hearing and feeling in the world coming online. This is a very, very powerful marker of this. I often say that the stars and the planets are not doing astrology to us. They are not doing the energy to us. What is happening is they are sharing with us. They are giving us a way to read the barometric pressure, as it were. Just like we can follow the lines of the windshields and the different things to determine the weather on our planet, we can follow the patterns the lines that the stars and the planets are making in order to read the energy. Everything works like a clock. Everything fits and gears into place. And at each moment, a new gear shifts. And it's multidimensional. This clock is bigger than anything that you can possibly comprehend with your human mind. But we get to see bits and pieces of it from this place. Mars is where we're going to end. Mars, during this new moon, is almost exactly conjunct the great attractor. We talked earlier about Venus being conjunct Pallas Athena during this new moon, giving us a chance, an opportunity to dive deep and experience what calls out our inner warrior, and also to reclaim that aspect of ourselves, to polish off our armor and see where the tarnishes are actually, because there was a story that was told about what it means to be a warrior, to do this or to do that, and you know, all that stuff of you triggered me, I triggered you, and this back and forth, this polarity, this battling. This is also Mars conjunct the great attractor. The great attractor offering to suck out the poison from these stories, to come into a truer relationship with what it means to be a warrior, a heart warrior. Sagittarius energy is about the truth. Like if you have a North Node in Sagittarius, truth above all. Truth above all. What is the highest truth I can currently access? Right? So when we feel Mars transiting through Sagittarius, that is part of this. It is a drive and a passion for the highest possible truth. And as it transit across the great attractor, we are given an opportunity to allow anything that isn't to be sucked up into that great space vacuum in the sky, released and transmuted. And as the month goes on, Mars will come into contact with the galactic center and be able to fill that space that has been cleared out with higher truth, with love. I'm going to be putting together the cosmic light drops in the next couple of days, and I will share a link below so that you can sign up to receive that direct to your inbox when you're ready. I will also be facilitating our Blue Flame Members Portal New Moon Circle on the 12/12 from a very, very special location, which is at a crossroads, a place of crossroads where the solar eclipse that happened in October, that ring of fire eclipse, and the solar eclipse, the total solar eclipse that is happening in April of next year, cross paths. It's this little swath of land in Texas in the United States, and I have been called to do some grid work there, and that is also where I'll be facilitating our New Moon Circle. You can come check out all of the different offerings in the members portal. It's a Patreon, and we have New Moon Circles, and I facilitate a healing every full moon also, and there's all kinds of good stuff in there. Some of it's behind the members portal, like within that container, and some of it's in the wider community. Come check it out. Last video, I mentioned that I went over the 1,000 subscriber threshold, and again, I'm so grateful. There is a special gift that I shared as part of that, a platinum light body protocol. It's a new way of working with our light bodies, with our energy systems, our energy beings, our lines of force that came through a couple of months ago. So if that calls to you, again, there will be a link below. That's up on the YouTube here. Let me know in the comments how all of this is playing out for you. I would love to hear and to hold space and to share with you and dance and weave in the way that we do in that space. Also, if you haven't already, please do subscribe and hit that notification button so you'll know when I post new updates. It is such an honor and such a gift and such a privilege to be able to share these weavings, these channelings with you of the galactic, stellar, and beyond the beyond. I hope that you have a beautiful new moon wherever and however you celebrate it, and a beautiful solstice, and a beautiful full moon, and a beautiful new year, and all of the holidays that this time of our year celebrates. One last thing in closing, remember to rest. Remember to rest. Take time for yourself every single day. Take time for yourself every single day. This time of year can be really busy and overloaded with family and friend obligations. This is also the time of year when in the Northern Hemisphere, everything's asking to slow down. So allow that also. Just because the pace of the 3D world is do, go, go, does not mean that you have to be. And that's part of that coming into the constant, into this centered state of being, into the heart. Even if it's 5 minutes and you go into the bathroom and you sit on the toilet and say, I just need to sit here and breathe. I just need to sit here and breathe. Or you're at a holiday table and Uncle so-and-so is spouting off something that you know is going to rise up, that aspect of you, that wounded warrior, Instead of taking the bait, take a deep breath and say, you know, I think I'm going to go take a quick walk, or go to the bathroom, like I said before. Or just take a deep breath and say, you know, there but for the grace of God go I. Because remember, that which triggers you is also part of you. And then invite some love into that aspect of yourself and also into Uncle so-and-so. And if you rise up, if you take the bait, try not to go into a shame spiral about it. That's a really, that just makes it so much stronger in your system. It's like being sucked into a vortex of it. Allow yourself to say, oh, yeah, I took that bait. I see you. It's all right. I love you. I love you. I love you. When we know better, we do better. When we know better, we do better. So now I can see that that thing triggered me and I took that bait and it became this whole thing. Now I know. Now I can see it, and maybe next time I'll do something different. There is so much going on this new moon, this last couple of weeks. I mean, just in general, 2024 is going to be even faster. So hold on to your hind parts. I will be sharing more about what to expect next year in a week or two. We'll see. I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling, so it's going to be really interesting. I'm actually going to be following the path that Leona is making with this, the occlusion path, the shadow of Betelgeuse, but in reverse order over the next, like from the moment of this eclipse straight through. So it's going to be really interesting. You can learn more about that in the members portal also. Okay, with that, as always, in always, so much and many loves. from, through, and beyond the all dimensions.